Howdy, y'all. Welcome back to Ireland Bound. And this one is going to be different. Um, I'm not going to do anything on the family tree. I'm not uh, going to do any of that stuff. Uh, Instead, today, I want to do a memorial. I'm filming this on the 28th, but I'm going to download it on March the 1st. Um, March the 1st last year, I had gotten a call from one of my nieces telling me that we were losing my brother, that he was going downhill, and she told me, said, if you want to see him, she says, you better get here, you better get here now. Said, we're not sure that he'll even last the hour. So, of course, being the sister I am, I just walked up to my boss, handed him my work phone, and said, my brother's dying, goodbye, and pretty much left. Um, I did make it. I did make it and got to say my goodbyes to my dear, sweet, wonderful brother who basically for the past 20 some odd years has been a major influence in my life. When Yeah, this is a little hard for me because I did love him a lot. When our father passed away when I was 18, he became pretty much like a father figure for me. So, yeah, losing him was hard. But of course, anyone who's lost a sibling, you know and you understand and you get it. You you know what that's like. You know how hard it is uh, to say goodbye to someone who was more than a friend and less than an enemy. No, I had a good relationship with my brother, but losing him was definitely hard. But the reason that I want to do a memorial for him is because 1 year ago, when he died, of course, my sister-in-law, she looked at all of us and she said, I would like to get some help going through pictures so we can find some pictures to put up for anyone who's been to a funeral in about the past 10 years. You know that they like to do those things where they review a person's life and they show all the photos from as young as they can get to the last one taken. And all the fun stuff they do and all that sort of thing. And so of course I went back to my brother and sister-in-law's house and helped them go through photos. And one thing I saw and that I noticed in one of the boxes was vacation that they took. It was I remember it because I was pretty young at the time. My brother is a bit older than me, quite a bit older. But I remember the vacation. I remember them taking it, and they went to Europe. And I was sitting there, I was going through, and I was looking at the pictures and thinking, wow, what fun. They went and saw all these cool places and these things, that for them this was a once in a lifetime trip. If I remember right, that was the only time that they went over there. But I remember looking at the pictures and thinking, wow, and of course it kind of reignited my desire more than ever to want to get to Ireland. It put it in the back of my head to where it was something that I was thinking about a lot, you know, trying to get over there. And it basically, it kind of ended up being part of the catalyst to start Ireland Bound. because I wanted to see Europe. Well, specifically Ireland. But also, too, another thing hit me with it. Um, my brother and I, we had the same father, but we had different mothers. His mother was different from mine. And so I have like my mother's side of the family and I have my father's side of the family, which there's a dividing line because, like I said, it's, there's not that connection there that you would have. So a lot of the stories, a lot of the timelines, a lot of the family trees that I've been doing. Yes, that's Ivy, one of my kitties. But anyways, a lot of them I've been doing has been on my mom's side of the family, and eventually I am going to do my father's side. I'm going to post pictures from, you know well, I've only got a few pictures. My father's family, they didn't have the money to buy a camera, or to buy time to have pictures made. So in fact, the first picture that my father ever had of himself was when he was 20 years old, and he had signed up for the Navy, and it was his Navy picture. It was a picture of him in his Navy uniform, and that was the very first picture my father ever had made. There are no baby pictures of my dad or his siblings. In fact, I only know of two pictures of his mother, and, well, actually about three now. I saw one online, and one picture of my grandfather. And those are the only pictures that I know of that exist of them because, like I said, they were poor. They didn't have the money to, go and have pictures done. So it's one of those things. I can't look and go, oh, this is my dad when he was 5 years old, 7 years old. If you saw chapter 3 that was about my mom, chapter 4 that was about my uncle, any of them, I pretty much, my mom's side of the family, they've all got the baby pictures. Pictures of them when they were young. My great grandmother Hazel. Um, Actually, I can't say that about her parents because I don't think there's any baby pictures of them. The only pictures I can think of right now, off the top of my head, they're adults. But um, like I said, I haven't had that much uh, pictures to do with them, but I do have stories. And when I get a chance, I am going to do some of the stories because uh, my dad's side of the family, there are a lot of interesting people, a lot of interesting things, and my dad was crazy. And I just, the more I thought about my brother passing, the more I realized that on both sides of my family, I'm the only one who knows all the stories. You know, my nephew Dwayne and my niece Dana. I doubt if they know very many of them. I mean, there's probably a few that they know, but how far back do they know? I got the benefit of sitting with my dad and his siblings and listening to them talk and talk about the family and things going back and the stuff that they did and where they lived. Their reminiscence. I got the privilege of that on both sides. I got to listen to my dad and his siblings, and my mom and her brother. I got to listen to all these stories. I got to hear these things. And as far as I know, there's no one else on either side of my family who knows all of these stories. They don't they don't know all the connections like I do, especially on my mom's side because my mom's side gets a little bit crazy. If anybody has watched any of the things and listened to me trying to explain, how my grandparents got moved from place to place because of, well, the fact that, uh, well, they both were orphaned at young ages. So uh, I'm the only one, and thinking of that, thinking of my desire to find my Irish roots, because my dad's side of the family supposedly has Irish roots too. In fact, he used to say we were Scotch Irish. So, there's possibly connections going back to Ireland too, or Scotland too. So, maybe that will be like another year going to Scotland. But like I said, it just all of a sudden more than ever, I wanted to find those roots. I think in my introductory episode, I made that I made way, 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 way back there now. Um, I told you that I had woken up one morning and just there was this overwhelming desire to be in Ireland. And I have a set date, at least in my head, a date that I want to do it. And I am throwing everything I can at that particular date. In fact, when I told my boss, he was good with it. He said that I can do it because I gave him like a 2 year notice. When you tell your boss, 2 years ahead of time, hey, I want this certain date off, it's kind of one of those things. He was like, okay, that sounds good. So, you know, I've got the date, like I said, in my head and in my heart set for when I want to go to Ireland. And so I've, started doing the research, as some of y'all know who have been following my channel. But as I said, my brother's death in particular was a really big catalyst for me because, like I said, I'm the last one. I'm the last one who knows all of this stuff. You know, um, not very. Please leave it alone. Uh, cats. I've got too many of them. But anyways, like I said, being the last one who knows all these stories, the last one who knows the connections, the last one who can put everything together. I want to make sure that my nieces, my nephews, my cousins, all of them that are left, that have generations coming. In fact, one of my great nieces is pregnant with her second child. So I've got a whole line of nieces and nephews there that one day they might go, Mom, Dad, who was my great, great, great grandparents? And so hopefully with this, they'll say, well, hold on, you know what? You had a great, great Aunt Jennifer. Let me go in, and she set up a channel, and we'll go find out who your family is. And so hopefully, the it'll be open for them. Hopefully they will be able to find their family tree, and to do, look at it and to go, oh, okay, so I had, this grandparent that he had a son who did this and did that, and he was like an uncle, however many times removed by that point, and that they can benefit from the knowledge that I still have. That they will be able to have a glimpse of their family. Um, like I said, uh, it's kind of hard being the last one with the knowledge, and honestly, if I tried to write it all down, I would get so frustrated trying to get it all down. And this way, like I said, it becomes an oral history. Hopefully, some point, like I said, either my nieces, nephews, or cousins, if they need to do a family tree, maybe they'll pull up some of this stuff and say, okay, I'm related to her. She did the research. This is what she found out. I'm going on her research. She worked really hard on this research. you know, but like I said, also too, I mean, I've got lots of family out there because if you've seen like Tafina, I mean, Hazel was her oldest kid, and she had four of them who made it to adulthood and had children. So who knows how many cousins I have out there? And just for giggles' sake, on my dad's side, I did a little bit of research, and I found a picture of his grave that had been taken and put onto a site called findagrave.com. And I got a hold of the woman who posted the picture, and I asked her, it's like, I'm just curious, why you did the grave, and gave her my dad's name and everything. And she's like, well, she says, my great grandmother was a Garrett also, and she lived in that area and grew up in that area. And she said, I was there, and she says, I do the headstones for graves.com when I can. And she's like, I just went through and I took all these pictures. Said if the last name said Garrett, I took a picture of it. And so she had gotten a picture of my dad's headstone. And we started talking, and, I made contact with a very distant cousin. Uh, we, through talking and figuring things out, her great grandmother and my grandfather were brother and sister. About the best I have it figured. Her great grandmother was older than my grandfather, anyways. But they, there's that connection there. I found a very nice cousin. We talked for a little bit. We discussed a few things, and it was nice to talk to someone who you share blood with, but you don't share the memories with, because you could share new things. She told me that her family had moved to Louisiana. And on something that I saw, apparently she had just recently moved back to Texas. So like I said, I've made contact with a cousin. One it's part of what I was hoping for, that I would make contact with someone who is a far flung relative and be able to talk to them and maybe get a little insight. Like I said, I've got that connection now, and I can go in and start asking her some questions. Uh, find out some things maybe that I never knew about my dad's side of the family. So, anyways, I'm grateful for that. And like I said, it's part of the reason that I wanted to do this was to connect with someone who I might not have connected with otherwise. And I have. I'm hoping maybe a little bit more on my mom's side too, because like I said, there's just, back then they had tons of kids at a time. I mean, Tafina had 8 kids, 6 of them lived past infancy. One of them only lived to be a teenager. The rest of them lived to be mothers and fathers. So maybe I can make contact with some of Meryl's kids or Enel's, or someone, find out a little bit more, talk to them, and find out from stuff from their side of the family. But like I said, today it felt like I needed to remember my brother. Because like I said, he had a very big impact on my life. And in all truth of the matter, his death was a big part of why I decided to go ahead and do this channel. So, yeah, if you're enjoying the channel, you can say thank you, Donnie. That's his name, was his name, Donnie. If you're not, say boo on you, Donnie. Bad Donnie. But like I said, it's just, I needed to talk about him. I needed to remember him, and I needed to give him the credit for doing this. I mean, in all truth of the matter, if I had not seen those pictures, seen his passport, I actually held his passport there for a few moments. So, and also too, another thing, another part of the catalyst was the fact that when we were sitting there, Donna asked, my sister-in-law asked everyone, says, well, says, who do you think he's going to want to see when he gets to heaven? And everybody was naming off someone. And I looked at him and it's like, Grandma Garrett. And later on when we were going through some of the pictures, I found one of the pictures of Grandma Garrett and I showed it to one of my nieces and she started asking me about him or about her and why the connection, why he would want to find her. And that will be something that I'll talk about whenever I do the video thing for my brother at some point, which it's not going to be today. It might be in a couple of months, but something for y'all to look forward to. The story on why my brother would be a little bit more connected with our grandmother. This is our dad's mother that I'm talking about. But anyways, I, I, I think I've said everything that I felt like I needed to. So to my brother, it's been a year. We all miss you. And we all love you. And we all really, really, really would like another chance to just give you a hug. But you're not in pain anymore, and we all understand that. So, for those who have watched to the end, I'm not going to do my usual because, like I said, this is for a memorial for him. This is just me remembering him for a few moments. So, anyways, I hope y'all have a great weekend. And just as another little preview thing, this weekend is the North Texas Irish Festival, which I will be attending with a dear friend of mine. So, next week, and maybe, depending on how much good stuff I get, maybe the week after that, there will be some videos on what we saw, what we did, uh, you know, our hangout time there at the North Texas Irish Festival. And, uh, you know, if nothing else, it'll be a little bit entertaining, right? But, anyways, I hope y'all have a great weekend. Talk to you later.